Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories concerning the attacks of September the 11th.
We are getting information now that one of the other buildings, Building 7 in the World Trade Center complex, is on fire and has either collapsed or is collapsing. And I
was talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing. Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
As you can see behind me, the Trade Center...
We've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull. And then we watched the building collapse.
It occurred to all of us that they would ultimately collapse over the way buildings usually collapse, which is in stages. It looked like at some point the top of the building would come off, and then maybe the middle of the building, and then maybe there'd be a shell left. Or, the way number 7 came back, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, over a period of time.
That was done by the mayor, Rudy Giuliani.
I didn't realize the towers would collapse. I never realized that. No one that I knew of had any idea that they would implode.
And we were operating out of there when we were told that the World Trade Center was going to collapse.
Tragedy around the world is precisely the type of security opportunity for Rudy Giuliani to talk about his candidacy.
Do you have a comment for the family members, sir, as to why you took their remains from the crime scene, sir?
Eyewitnesses said they heard an explosion as the jetliner plummeted from the sky.
Or the people who attacked the United States in New York, shot down the plane over Pennsylvania and attacked the Pentagon.
The adversary is closer to home. It's the Pentagon bureaucracy. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
They got to cover it up. That's where the corruption comes in. They got to cover it up.
It could be said that it's a matter of life and death.
Those numbers are pie in the sky. The books are cooked routinely, year after year after year.
I mean, it was like a cruise missile with wings. Went right there and slammed right into the Pentagon.
I've filmed before down at the Pentagon before 9/11. There's got to be at least 100 video cameras ringing that building, in the trees. I want to see the video. I want to see 100 videos that exist. I believe that there will be answers in that videotape. And
so we all know never a plane of it.
Yet it seems highly unlikely, if not impossible, that the biggest and bloodiest terrorist operation ever could have been planned and prepared without a single government around the world even noticing.
That he attacked America. So, on November 8, 2001, after a few weeks of 9/11, I interviewed him again. And, yes?
No, I'm sorry, go ahead. We're out of time.
Gosh, I don't think I ever said I'm not worried about Osama bin Laden. It's kind of one of those exaggerations.
So I don't know where he is. Nor, I just don't spend that much time on it. I repeat what I said. I truly am not that concerned.
We've never been able to confirm any connection between Iraq and 9/11.
Well, first of all, when we walked in the classroom, I had seen this plane fly into the first building. There was a TV set on, and, I thought it was pilot error.
According to the official White House version, it was at this moment in a Florida classroom that Bush learned the second plane had hit the World Trade Center and that the U.S. was under attack. But here's what George Bush himself said almost 3 months later when asked about September 11th.
I was sitting outside the classroom waiting to go in, and I saw an airplane hit the tower of a TV. The TV was obviously on, and I used to fly myself, and I said, well, there's one terrible pilot. And I said it must have been a horrible accident.
But that's impossible. No one saw the first plane crash on TV on September the 11th.
911, we note.
W. Bush is an off, I don't care, yeah? He has got to do this, right? He's fucking the hell, right? Make sure you put it on the news to everyone.
In 2001, after the World Trade Center bombing, my detachment was alerted to deploy to Afghanistan.
In the United States, it's possible that Israel will get more sympathy for its fight against Palestinian militants.
All Israelis stand as one with the American people.
After a truckload of explosives was discovered around the George Washington Bridge.
And I see 3 guys on top of the van, and I could see that they were like happy. They didn't look shocked to me.
But they arrested the 2 suspects and they're questioning them as we speak.
The 5 Israelis were detained for 10 weeks and finally deported on immigration violations after the FBI cleared them of any involvement in 9/11.
That experiences terror daily. Our purpose was to document the event. Our purpose was to document the event.
3 Israelis are said to have died in the, I think 2 on the airplanes and 1 on the ground. Something like 3 out of 4,000, so they fared very well.
Another 9/11 attack would really help us. It would help this country be unified and come together again. I know what he means.
The fact of the matter happens to be that the whole war on terror is a fraud. It's a farce. Yeah, there's a war going on in Iraq because we invaded Iraq. And people over there fighting, you know. But the war on terror, that's a joke, you know. And until we discover what really happened on 9/11 and who was responsible for 9/11, because that's where the war on terror emanates from. That's where it comes from. I used to say to him, what's the point of all this? You have all the money in the world you need. You have all the power you need. What's the point? You know, what's the end goal? And he said the end goal is to get everybody chipped, to control the whole society.
We have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders, of the UN's founders, of the UN's founders.